Okay, even though I just said the next legend analysis was going to be on a very specific legend that's related to Sandstorm, I still haven't figured out who that is yet. So, in the meantime, we've got a brand new legend to try out who came out not even a week ago. The Sword Orb legend, Ezio. He's our second crossover legend to exist next to Rayman, and honestly, I think people are more upset about him than I am. Am I a bit upset about Ezio? Upset isn't the word. I'd say underwhelmed is more like it. Sword Orb is a combo everyone has been begging for, and to me it feels really bland. On the other hand, everyone's saying it should have been Guitar's Orb because Assassin's Creed lore, blah blah blah. I don't know much about it, so I'll stay out of that. Regardless, I just don't like Sword and Orb very much, and I'm thinking even if I do level him up a ton now, I won't play him a lot in the future. Apart from weapons, one reason I don't like him are the SIGs. You can argue they're fun to use, but some feel questionable. Sword and SIG, definitely not his worst one for sure, but I have a lot of trouble hitting it compared to his other SIGs. It's kind of funny. It spikes, which is pretty fun, but I can't find the secret tech to it. Apparently everyone else can, so I guess that's a problem on me. I'm sure it's good, but I struggle with it. Sword Side SIG is probably his least mentioned Sword SIG, but this one can be just as good as the others, with how easily it can hit and the amount of force it can have. I wouldn't say it's its best Sword SIG, but it's underrated compared to the others. Sword Down SIG. Honestly, I get why everyone is saying this one is extremely good. It has a fixed force on stage, allowing for true combos like Recovery and Sair, and the aerial version has variable force, sending pretty far down. I think this SIG is his best Sword SIG. While it arguably could use nerfs, the hitbox is incredibly small, which is why I could argue it doesn't need a huge nerf. But yeah, this is the one everyone will be saying is his most fun SIG, and probably even most broken. Ezio's Orb SIGs, I think, are way more broken. Like, beyond broken. Orb and SIG is guilty of this. It doesn't have too many active frames, so it's easy to recover from, can be slide charged, and it has just the most obnoxious hitbox known to man. The force is pretty good too. The only part I can argue is bad is the angle you get sent from it, but even then that's not an issue in ones, and it could potentially be used for roof killing anyways. Orb Side SIG. This SIG needs massive nerfs. I've done it myself and I've seen it. People will abuse the hell out of the SIG. You move pretty fast with it, it hits hard and unpredictably, and it has close to no end lag. You can basically start moving immediately after it's over. Maybe a force nerf or more frames added to the end because it feels so free to use when spammed. Remember whenever I said his Orb SIGs were way more broken? I meant End SIG and Side SIG. Orb Down SIG is the worst SIG in this kit by far, and honestly, it feels like one of the worst SIGs in the game. That or I just still haven't figured it out. It's not even in the way which makes the SIG unpredictable, no, it's just straight up bad. Almost one of the worst SIGs in the game. You can argue because of this, the SIG has not much end lag or it hits really hard. Sure, yes, that makes the SIG high risk, high reward. It doesn't go far enough off stage to actually hit anyone on the wall, and on stage, you're just best off using Side SIG. Overall though, I would go with Ezio's Orb game. His sword game is definitely good, but compared to his Orb game, feels a bit worse. Although you can argue both are really good, to which I agree. Ezio's skins are... I don't like them. I really don't like them. I think some look cool, but they just look the same. All of them. There's only 3, so let's blast through them. Pretty Good has Asgardian and Default Ezio. I think they look cool, both have pretty neat weapons, but again, just don't differ from each other enough. And then Mid-Tier has Armor of Brutus and Revelations Ezio. These are probably references to the game, but I just don't like them. They're painfully average in looks when it's compared to other much more unique skins in the game. Maybe it was a bit harder to get unique skins since he's a crossover legend, I don't know, but even Rayman had better skins on release. Tierlist wise, out of S, A, B, C, and D, I'd place Ezio in, well, S tier as of now. Although he definitely won't stay there. Sword can be argued to be low S tier, although I don't think Orb is that great. Balance, sure, but not OP. Once Ezio SIGs get nerfed to the ground, I can see him being just either balanced or underpowered. Will Ezio's stats decide to save him though? Not really. 5 attack, 7 dex, 4 defense, and 6 speed. I swear to god, if it was Orb Guitars, the stat lineup would have made sense. Orb and Sword don't benefit off dex in any major ways. The only decent part about Ezio is his high speed. His other stats just kinda lack. Although if you're running a stance, I'd go defense to take down on dex, 100%. All the other stances take out on each other in a way that only affects you negatively. Play rates don't matter too much right now, of course, but he's sitting at 6%. Obviously because he's new, but after a few weeks or a month, I can just see Ezio becoming another underplayed legend. Another wanted to death weapon combo gone to waste. To those who like Ezio, that's really great. It's not bad to like him, but Ezio doesn't feel like he fits. Not much build-up was done to his release thanks to the open beta release of Multiversus. It seemed like BMG rushed the legend out to try to counteract Multiversus, but it just didn't work in my opinion. I don't mean to derail the analysis, but BMG's been going deep underwater the last few weeks with a lot of their recent actions, which I won't be getting into a ton, but they've got to pick up this slack because they've already lost tons of players to Multiversus. I don't think the game will die, and I definitely won't be switching for Multiversus, despite it being a pretty fun game, Velma and Steven rock, but BMG is seriously suffering. They need to do something more, something that doesn't just change the game cosmetically or make slight balance changes. I don't like talking about topics like these publicly because I don't like looking to the dark side of Brawlhalla that everyone talks about constantly. But it's been on everyone's mind, and honestly, it'd be a bit weird if I didn't mention anything. Besides that, though, is Ezio any fun? Yes. I don't like Sword and Orb very much, but he's still a new legend. He's still worth trying out for the weapon combo, the SIGs, all the good stuff. He just felt a bit more lackluster compared to other legends. Even Moonin, who I thought was really bland, had more build-up than Ezio. Regardless, that wraps up the analysis. Don't take anything I said too seriously. You can do anything with Ezio if you put enough effort in, and BMG I'm sure will make a comeback from the hole they've dug. I'm still deciding on what my video schedule is going to be, so just hang on tight. Thanks for watching this analysis, and of course, keep on brawling.